Disappointed here in the Gallon. Was going forward and seemed to have hit a bit of a plateau or reached his level maybe. But yeah, Azada Evens, I'm watching her anyway.
Here's the final check in the betting then. Even money to field. Azada Evens, Dunham 6-1/8, Atlantic Coast with Monday 11, Massusus, Norwalk Havoc 16, Master of the Hunt 25, Yosemite. Who is the each way play, do you think?
I think Monday could be. I just think, listening to Aidan O'Brien after his run here the last day, he's obviously coming back down in trip. I think Monday could be overpriced.
Former has to give weight away all round here though with his penalties. Final one to load is going to be Master of the Hunt.
The loaded and off over a mile, the Colm McLoughlin Celebration Stakes. It's a listed race. Norwalk Havoc first to show in front, followed by Lord Massusus. Going up to the pit is Azada, the green jacket. Also improving, there's a fellow filly. You send me with Atlantic Coast running the rail. There's this Norwalk Havoc cutting out the running from You Send Me, edging into second ahead of Atlantic Coast, racing together for the fourth. Lord Massusus, Azada, as they're about to join the main running rail. Master of the Hunt, blue cap on the inside of Dunham, held up is Monday. Just a furlong outside the halfway stage, and it's You Send Me joining issue with Norwalk Havoc as they really tighten up, followed by Azada, Lord Massusus, Atlantic Coast on the inside, and Monday, Dunham. And knocked back to last place is Master of the Hunt as they come inside the halfway stage in the Colm McLoughlin Celebration Listed Race Stakes. Pressure's a little between Norwalk Havoc, Shane Foley on the inside of You Send Me and Jamie Heffernan. Tracked on the turn in by Azad and Chris Hayes. Then Lord Massusus, Gary Carroll at Atlantic Coast on the inside. On the Dylan Brown McMonigal, followed by Dunham. And then Monday and Master of the Hunt. It's still Norwalk Havoc who leads narrowly. Lord Massusus, the challenger, one from the rail. Being followed by Azada, who's been asked to pick up. Then Atlantic Coast. Dunham, You Send Me, falls away as Lord Massusus strikes the front. Inside the final furlong, it's Lord Massusus gone away by 2 lengths to Atlantic Coast, who's in the second place. But it is Lord Massusus who is restoring its form in the Celebration Stakes from Atlantic Coast. Judge for the third, Norwalk Havoc and Azad.
Been a smashing flag bearer for the Murphys, Lord Massusus, and he's given weight away all round here to bag another big prize under regular rider Gary Carroll. Travelled powerfully into contention and on this better ground today. Officially good now, of course, after a relatively dry day up to this point. He was able to settle it readily, Ruby. Favourite, as you highlighted from her draw, mightn't have had the best of trips. Don't know whether I'd want to make too many excuses for her, though.
I'm not either, Gary. To me, the form wasn't there. She was really sharp price on a reputation, but I wasn't sure about the form. Atlantic Coast is the one that's bounced back. He's left a couple of disappointing runs in a classic and trials behind him. But Lord Massusus, who improved at a rate of knots all through last season, has scaled new heights again today.
Very much so. He's such a likeable sort. Rated 106 coming into this today. It's a 6th career success. And just involved in a bit of buffeting early on. You see You Send Me coming across from the outside stall. And
Lord Massusus is involved in that buffeting
exactly,
as well as Azada. And Atlantic Coast on the inside, he gets it smooth enough. Jamie Heffernan gets in front of Chris Hayes and Gary Carroll, but Shane Foley was controlling this well in front of Norwalk Havoc. And I thought briefly when he quickened early in the straight, he was after getting plenty of them at it. Monday got to the back and swung wide off the bend, never got involved. Neither did Dunham, who's a little disappointing maybe, and Master of the Hunt. But Azada travels down here just outside Lord Massusus, and as you say, Gary, I think you can be making excuses here. Ultimately, to me, she just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's the long and the short of it, I think, isn't it? And the winner, who run behind White Birch on both starts so far this term, they were both over 1.25 miles, and actually a little bit further than 1.25 miles last time. I think this distance is probably in and around his optimum, though, and he's travelled powerfully, settled it readily when Gary Carroll has asked him to go and win his race. He's also at times and in connections have maybe overcomplicated things a little bit, maybe ridden him a bit too far off the pace, but he was in the box seat today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and he was in the right place. Obviously he had the most weight, and I think that's a good performance. I think it's a really good performance from a really likeable horse, and I think it's good to see Atlantic Coast step in the right direction, Gary, after what have been a couple of disappointing starts from him. I think Shane Foley had Norwalk Havoc in the right place, and he's probably run a little bit above himself, but I think Lord Massusus is an admirable character. Must be a wonderful horse to own for John Burke, and he's been a good money spinner for the Murphys, hasn't he?
Hasn't he just? Yes, I think he's a horse who would have been sold as a yearling, only there might have been a little bit of an issue with him, and Connections ended up hanging on to him, and they'll be very, very glad they did, because he's given them some wonderful days, and he looks as good as ever, and that evidence, I'd say there's every chance he'll go on and win again this season.
What's a sales horse and what's a racehorse? This is a racehorse. The vets mightn't have thought so. He wasn't a sales horse, but he's definitely a racehorse.
He is that, and something like the Boomerang Mile on the Irish Champions weekend, I'm sure will be a target for him again. Here's the shots from overhead, just had to burrow his way through there between Yosemite and Norwalk Havoc, but once he'd done that, he was never going to get beat, was he? Azada was under pressure at that stage. Atlantic Coast follows him through to grab second spot, but Lord Massusus just too good. Very disappointing run from Dunham today, wasn't it? I know he's
rare,
not completely disgraced or anything like that, but